Have you ever loved something so much that you just want to make it happen every day? Me neither. This is a podcast a day. POD every day. 329. I want to say that could be wrong. That could be right. I was going to say I have no way of knowing. I literally have the easiest way of knowing. A laptop right there. And I do this every day. So it's literally as easy as Michael Jackson said it best. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. But instead of 1, 2, 3 counting to 100, 300 and whatever we're on right now. You footballers, eh? They play, they stop playing, they get a little bit bigger, it becomes news. You know, when Lukaku retires, he'll probably put on a couple pounds, people make fun about him on Twitter, and the world will keep turning. Neymar is the latest on this list. He has, slightly bigger, he's ballooned up a bit, let's just say that, right? And he's responded and said, am I overweight? Yeah, sure. Maybe I'm a little. It kind of reminded me of Jack Black in School of Rock. Um, Everyone's been saying Neymar's fat. Neymar's a big boy now because he's not. Is he retired all of a sudden, or is he just injured? I'm not sure. But like he was walking around and stuff, and people were saying, "Oh, you've got bigger." Because as a footballer, like people call Harry Kane fat sometimes when he comes back from summer. People say the same thing about Luke Shaw or Lukaku even, and it's like in the realms of football as an athlete or whatever, and how like everyone is sort of the exact same build. You go, oh yeah, he looks a bit out of shape or whatever. But in reality, in real life, these people are no like when people call Harry Kane fat, when he comes back in the summer, or Luke Shaw fat, they're nowhere near to being fat. Like they are just slight. Even if you get slightly bigger, especially if you're a certain type of build, it just looks very obvious. Especially as like a footballer who's like playing like football matches a couple times every week. So people just notice it or whatever. But Neymar not playing, a bit bigger, and he did his little story, and he was like, "You know what? I'm gonna address this. People putting shit on my name. People saying I got rotund. Let me just tell you, am I a little bit overweight? Yeah, sure, but fat." And then he pulls up his shirt and kind of goes, "I don't think so." Oh, type thing. And look, it reminds me of that scene in School of Rock where Neymar was like, because he's like, yeah, I'm overweight, but I'm not fat. Which, I mean, obviously there's a language barrier, like a lost in translation kind of thing going on. Because, like, to be overweight, is it? No, well, no, I guess he's saying I'm fat, but I'm not obese, is probably what he's, like, saying. But, like, by definition, being overweight is being fat, right? But, and then Fleck flashes the chest. Yeah, I keep saying it was like School of Rock, but I didn't. I keep forgetting to say the part in School of Rock where I can't remember any of the kids' names, but the kid Turkey, he calls her Turkey Sub. I'm not. That's not the nickname I gave her. Turkey Sub is like, she's like, oh, Mr. Schneebly, I don't want to sing, and he's like, what? Why? Why don't you want to sing? And she's like, because what if they all laugh at me? And he's like, well, why would they laugh at you? And she's like, I don't know, because I'm fat. And then I can't remember. He's either like, oh God, no, chill out. What? Look at me. I'm fat. People don't laugh at me. You want to know why? Because I'm sexy. And then he gives her confidence or whatever. Actually, it's a little bit of maybe of an inappropriate motivational talk to give a what is this, middle school? I don't even know how, children. That's the easy answer. A child. But it works. She gets up there. She sings. It's a fantastic film. It's in my top 4 favorites of all time. And yeah, that was like Neymar. He was like saying, yeah, I'm a little big. I'm a big boy now. But I'm feeling myself and I'm loving life and I'm eating food. And it is so crazy as well because like in my mind, like if you're playing football and stuff, you probably have just got like great genetics in the sense that you could probably eat what you want and stuff and you'd be fine. But there is like a lot of like the best footballers in the world literally aren't that, like you'd think they're naturally athletic and like they are, but like people like Harry Kane, Neymar apparently, Like what, a couple weeks not training to the higher level, and people have noticed you put on weight. Like Harry Kane, Neymar, Hazard, Lukaku. I hate to say it because I hate him, but good striker, right? Very good striker. Some of these players, it's like they don't. They'll stop training or they'll go on. By the way, in between the seasons and stuff, like the football season, when they're having these like little breaks, going to Dubai and taking photos next to the fucking little hotel because everyone takes pictures in the same place that goes to Dubai and does the same thing, right? Going to see Salt Bay for the 700th time, whatever. These like in between a season, it's like a few weeks, like, and then you're straight back into it, and within that time, they put on enough weight where it's noticeable to people on Twitter, and it's like I don't know. It's if anything, it's more impressive that you're like not naturally just athletic because there'll be people, a lot of other footballers who like they go off their summer break and they just completely stop training. They eat what they want, they come back into training, and aside from their cardio not being as good and they got to build that back up, they visibly look the same. So it's kind of more impressive that like your best footballers in the world are like maintaining something below what is just the natural for them. Um, so yeah, I don't know if Neymar's retired or if like, you know what I mean. Like for Neymar, it'll be like he'll go train on the pitch within a couple of weeks and then he'll be back playing wherever. He's still at PSG, right? And now I need to just Google it because now I'm just confused. Did I like get put in like a Captain America style sleep tank, and I've woken up and it's years later and Neymar's retired and I'm just confused? But am I not crazy? Was Neymar not playing professional football at a pretty high level like a couple months ago? I know he gets injured a lot, but I'm just confused. He's Neymar, Brazilian football player. He's 31. He's not old. Well, I mean, depends who you're asking. Current team. Oh yeah, he left PSG and he went to Al Hilal. Why would you? Why Neymar? Why? The first I just typed in Neymar, just obviously looking. I didn't type anything else, just Neymar Junior. Went to the sides just to see where he was playing on like the little Wikipedia thing. First articles are all like Neymar's physical change during his injury controversial. Like it's all just Neymar, like Neymar exposed, Neymar hits back, overweight but fat, all this other stuff. Like every story is just talking about Neymar filling out in his face or whatever. He actually kind of because I remember the same thing happened with Dynamo because he kind of looks bigger in that way. I'm not saying he has like whatever Dynamo had, but Dynamo actually had like a condition where like he was kind of like ballooning up, not like in a fat way, like he kind of like he was getting pumped with air. I can't remember what that was, but I think he don't have it. Or he's like taking something for it now, I guess. But yeah, he went to like Al Hilal. What people like Neymar? It's just like crazy. It's crazy to think like very easily Mbappe could have like the same career, and you just think these players are just destined. You think to be playing at the top level. I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. That PSG is a top five league or whatever. I mean, the Ligue 1 is a top five league. People would argue that other leagues are better than it, like the Dutch league or something. But I disagree. I think the top five leagues are just the ones that you go, the obvious ones: Spain, Italy, Germany, France, England, right? And I'm not saying all these players have to play in the Premier League. How was Neymar not transferred to England? How was um, Mbappe or certain players not? Obviously Haaland has, but like at least go to Italy or go to like like you spent your whole like people like Neymar. We're talking about Neymar. Spent like a long part of his career, pretty much most of it, I guess. Maybe not. Yeah, I guess most of it. Maybe the years that mattered the most that we could say at PSG, and then went to Saudi Arabia, and that was it. It's like, and Mbappe, he's been in that league his whole life so far, right? Monaco and then PSG. Very easily, he could just do the same and then go finish in MLS, and you just be thinking, I thought it was certain you were gonna go to like Spain or some shit, like Real Madrid or whatever. Jude Bellingham, who is what 19, 20, playing in the Championship, transfer went to Germany, transfer Real Madrid Galactico, probably get another transfer, come to like whoever's hot in the Premier League at that point. Like it's just It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I guess they don't feel like they got anything to prove. They don't feel like they need to prove themselves. I mean, you hear Thiago Silva. He was like, I never had an interest to go to the Premier League because just didn't get viewed as good football till like Pep went there, maybe changed things a little bit. Got other people feeling like they can play out from the back, and that he kind of just looked at it and went, "It just looks like long bullshit." And maybe a lot of people just think that's still about the Prem, don't want to go there, weather, moving country, all that type of shit. Just don't feel it. It could be that simple. I don't know. And do I care? I don't know. What was more interesting actually is Rashford went out. That part's fine. Before a game, that's fine. Was he getting milk? No, he went to a club. Okay, that's a bit crazy, but still, it happens. Players go to the go clubs sometimes, and they get caught. Not even exactly getting papped, right? Like, oh, the paparazzi were there with the flashlight bulb kind of cameras, all old school style. But just simply, it's 2024. People got smartphones. Um, even if people haven't got phones, people have their 3DS. People have their little like Apple Watch. People have like loads of shit. They can probably just take photos of. There's cameras everywhere. Like it's impossible. You can't go out and not be noticed. So that's like fair enough. It happened to Madueke of Chelsea. Like it was after a loss. He was at the club or something. He was partying, or it was at like a birthday party maybe for someone. Obviously, people are there. Snapchat is like your footballer's biggest enemy. Someone puts on their story, and then it kind of gets out and out and out, further and further out, and then eventually the world sees it. Um, and with Madueke, it felt like a bigger deal. Obviously, he's a younger player. He's proved himself less, obviously. But Pochettino kind of left him out in the cold, said openly in an interview, like, it's taken him nearly 6, 7 months, but he's finally learnt the right attitude to have or something like that. That's what Poch said, right? So, kind of felt like he had, behind the scenes, he kept it mostly, but, kind of a punishment there. Training relatively well, not getting really any minutes. Rashford, who I like, man. And look, I'm not usually this kind of, authoritarian. You got to follow the rules and this and that. But you was in a club in not this country even. He was in Ireland. And now I know. From Manchester, he could probably, especially because he hasn't got to actually go through the airport. He's a footballer. He can, like, basically just run through and get on the first plane or whatever, or whatever, or whatever, or whatever. I don't know if it was private. I don't know how he got there. But like you could argue he could get to Ireland quicker than he could get to a club in London. Like if it was like Rashford was in a club in London before playing tomorrow, that doesn't sound as bad as being in Ireland, even if it takes longer. But just the principle of being out of the country, you went over a body of water to another bit of land, and it's just like there's no. In my mind, I can rationalize it being like I could Rashfordize it being like, oh yeah, well you just did it. You got a life. You're a human. You went down there. You was like, I'll be fine. Getting on a plane, like, and you thought, did you think no one would know? And then you didn't train the next day or something because you didn't get back in time because you was abroad or because you was just hungover, so you called it ill. It's just bad. And I don't know if that photo is from the club where he's doing the Rashford celebration. It's not quite on his head, that's just the meme, but still he's like Rashfording it up while in the club when he should be doing it on the pitch, and he didn't even start because he wasn't even there. It's just like, what are you doing? And I see articles now like Rashford takes full responsibility and Ten Hag says he's dealt with it or whatever. He's back training, he'll be in contention for the next game week. It's like, what? Okay, yeah, sure. I'll take full responsibility for everything. If I could kill, I guess it's extreme. If I could kill someone, get away with it with zero repercussions, then yeah, everyone would take responsibility for what they do. I fully stand up and I take full responsibility for shooting that man in the head. Yeah, that was me. Well, yeah, because there's no repercussions. I'm not going to jail for it. Rashford, yeah, he didn't start in this game. He literally didn't even train the day before. Like, it's not that crazy. That shouldn't be the punishment. And I guess he lost his wages. Yeah, 2 weeks worth. Like, not a big deal. Realistically, like, it's a lot of money. Sure, I'm not gonna say you don't notice that kind of money not being in your account, but like, 2 weeks wages, for a footballer. For Rashford, I mean, what is that, like 400k? Um, Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. Um, you know, It's whatever. It's whatever. He probably would have gave that anyway to the fucking kids to eat, which is what the weirdest thing is. It's like I'm not expecting you to be just like the biggest good Samaritan, biggest goody two shoes, but like because he's so much like advocating for the kids and free school meals, and he's this big charity guy, and he's getting knighted or whatever it got in the fucking palace place, and all this shit. For some reason, it's just like, but when you see him play on the pitch, he just looks so petulant, sometimes so stroppy, and like sometimes he just does shit like go to Dublin and not train the next day because he couldn't even get like he just does other magic. The only thing I can think is he's met some bird, he's met some girl. He's like, because I'm thinking about that the David Beckham documentary when he was like in love with Victoria Beckham. Well, she wasn't Victoria Beckham. I don't know what she was back then. Victoria Spice, we'll just say, what's her last name? And he was traveling up and down the country to see her, and every chance he got, maybe he just had some girl in his ear who's like lives out in Ireland. Like, I'll just come out to Ireland. We're out in Ireland. Just come quick. It's literally just a 30-minute journey. You can get here, get back. It'll be fine. And because it's her and it's in his ear, he's like, oh yeah, 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 it's fine. Yeah, yeah, I'll make it. Yeah, I'll make it. Because I can't see how in your own head you've convinced yourself that you're getting there and making it back and it's fine and there's no like type of thing, and you're not doing well in the league right now, and you know how it looks, and like you've probably been in trouble for this before, and you know what the fans are going to say, and you're already not in good form yourself, and it's like it's easy just to come to the conclusion that maybe Rashford just doesn't really care that much, which seems pretty likely. Dog, why do you do this to me every time? Scratch that you wanted to get out like 15 minutes ago. I let you out, and then you got immediately scratched and get back in. I'm gonna do that now because I feel like I've hit my quota. Wow, I feel like I've got hay fever or some shit. 300 and something. I don't know. Got to go get the dog.